And this, I think, is a perfect segue for something that first brought us together, which was which was this thing about artificial sweeteners. And let me just, for the record, be very clear. I have long ingested foods with artificial sweeteners. So throughout graduate school, I didn't have the best habits. They're healthier now than they were back then. But I would drink, a Diet Coke or two per day. I still have the occasional Diet Coke. I'm not completely averse to drink something that has artificial sweetener. Although I do avoid sucralose for reasons that maybe I can get into a little bit later. But a lot of the things I consume contain stevia, which is not artificial plant, but it is a plant-based non-caloric sweetener or low-caloric sweetener. And I don't have a problem with that. I became very interested in artificial sweeteners because of the animal data pointing to the idea that they may disrupt the gut microbiome. And then disrupt the gut microbiome, as you pointed out, is a very broad statement. We don't really know the percentage of lactobacillus, lactobacillus, or whatever bacillus, illus in there. They all seem to end in illus. Is ideal. And in fact, a lot of these companies that are having people send in their stool samples for analysis of the microbiome, I mean, take note, we don't really know what a healthy microbiome looks like, but we know what an unhealthy microbiome might look like, and it's one that doesn't have a lot of diversity in there. So I was interested in that. Then there's the recent human study, which we should definitely get into. But I was mostly interested in artificial sweeteners for the reason that there is this food conditioning effect. And you see it in animals and you see it in humans, that if you ingest, coffee is a really good example. Coffee doesn't actually taste good, folks, even though I like it. But when you taste coffee for the first time, most people think it's bitter and disgusting. Most everybody, like 95% of people, say this doesn't taste good.
Wine, beer, same thing.
Yep, but people learn to associate the state of being caffeinated, which most people like, in order to just feel normal, right? Caffeine's one of the few drugs we ingest just to feel ourselves, enough that soon, myself included, really look forward to and enjoy a cup of coffee. So it's a powerful example, in my opinion, of the food conditioning effect. So it's like a Pavlovian thing. Instead of salivating, you crave, right? Right. And it did seem that this study from Dana Small's lab, which admittedly was a small, no pun intended, study itself, not very many subjects, showed that if you ingested artificial sweeteners along with food that contained glucose, that you could sort of maybe even get a heightened glucose response just from the artificial sweeteners after a while. You and I connected over this study on social media. You pointed out that the design of the study wasn't superb. There was co-consumption of glucose, which made it complicated. We can go into that.